Hello, crafting buddies. It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you from Wisconsin at 11:55 p.m. on Tuesday, October 28th. How is everybody doing tonight? 11:55 p.m. on Tuesday, October 28th. Let's get rid of the extra volume. I guess my sound is working. And let me get my other device. Oh, I got sound there too. All right. We'll get my devices up here so I can watch to see if anybody joins me live. Hopefully I can watch any comments that come in and maybe keep up with the conversation. So we are almost at the end of October, and it was almost 60 degrees here in Wisconsin, which is really unusual. Hey, Juju. How's the weather down by you? Hey, Yuda. It was really nice here today. I had the house mostly to myself because Mr. What are we calling him now? Macman? Mr. Macman was out doing yard work. Oh, I'm sorry, it's raining. That's no fun. Yeah, Mr. Macman. He is probably not on here yet. Doesn't look like it. I told him I was going live, but I was inside trying to find insurance to start November 1st. So that took a lot of my day. And then I cooked part of the time. So you probably, well, Juju, I know you don't need this. And Yuda, I don't remember. Are you a demonstrator? Are you, I just don't remember. I don't know if we ever talked about it. Nice. So you had the house to yourself too? Working on Christmas cards. So you're a retired demo. So if you thought about coming back, because now is the perfect time to do it, you can always retire again after you get the starter kit. Because this is just such a smoking hot deal. It's amazing. So I had mentioned, I don't know, last week, maybe I lose track of time. I was going to just kind of put together a starter kit because this deal is just amazing. So you've heard me talk about it all month, basically. Excuse me. And basically, you're getting $90+ worth of free merchandise, and you pay for $35 worth of it. All right. So, well, you get $125 worth of product. 90 of it's free. You pay for $35 worth, and you pay for the tax. So I thought I would do just a little sample, what a starter kit might look like. And this is just stuff that I had close at hand with my calculator. So we did a bunch of cards, and quite honestly, my studio is still in a state of upheaval. I don't know what I did with some of the cards that we made. I may have sent them out already. Who knows? Yeah, who knows where they are. But if you were to get, let's say, this ornamental Christmas suite, you could get the stamps. So you're in the sell-off phase. Yeah, I get it. But sometimes it's nice to have new things when it's that cheap. So for anybody else who might be interested, because I'm not going to try to twist your arm. You know what's right for you. Nobody else does. So for anybody else who might be interested in this, you can get the stamp set. You can get a set of dies. You could get this pack of paper. So this is 12 sheets of this Modern Christmas 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper. And I cut down a bunch of it so I wouldn't have to take it out of the package. And I've used quite a bit of it. But there's all these different designs. Now, it's specialty paper because there are some foiling pieces. So one side is your regular paper, and then one side is the foiled side. So this has little rings on it, ornaments on one side, stripes, dots or dashes, the Christmas trees that have foiling all over them. This was probably my favorite page. Polka dots on one side. So just a ton of possibilities with that. Oh, and one side had mistletoe and then the fa la 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 that Juju almost made me fussy cuss the other day. All those cards are somewhere here. I just don't know where, because I know we worked on them. So you could get all of that. And you could also get another pack of specialty paper, which is the textured metallic. Now this is just 3 sheets, but it's got the gold, and it's like a linen texture on here. It's got the tungsten, which is a bluish gray, and then it's got the copper. So that would go really well with that Modern Christmas Designer Series paper. And then you could get a pack of, you would get a full pack of the Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and those can be colored with alcohol blends. You could get a pack of foam adhesive strips. You could get a roll of tear and tape, and you could get a bottle of liquid glue, or you could get another pack of the rhinestone embellishments. So all of this would be $35 plus tax. So this is basically $125 worth of stuff. But wait, there's more. Kind of like those commercials on TV. You also get a paper pumpkin kit and free shipping. And after you join, all of what you order, you get a discount on. What's better than having a sale every day? So that's it for my little commercial. All right, if you've got questions or if you want to join and need a hand, reach out. I will be more than happy to add you to my team. So, Juju, what were you making today? Anything messy? Why did I know that? I did not, I didn't cheat. I didn't look into your page, but, or your channel rather. But I figured you might be doing something messy. That seems to be your MO. And I'm going to clean this off a little bit. We got a lot going on here. So, because my brain is kind of fried, I think, looking at all that insurance stuff, not too messy, I'll have to go take a peek, give you a heart, do my part, watch it for a while so you get some more view hours. I got a lot of mess going on here, but I did not use my time very well today because looking through all those insurance options is really a time stealer. It takes so long, and then you have to compare them and just decide what's going to work and find one that'll work with the doctors that you have and whatever medications you might have. And then if it says it comes with dental and vision, you have to find out if your dentist is covered, and it's just a nuisance. Just a nuisance. But it's finally done. I've had it on my to-do list every day. I have literally had an alarm set every day to look for insurance. So I feel like I've had success because I still have 3 more days in this month, and I have it done early. All right, so to give my brain a little bit of a break. I know adulting is not fun sometimes, but it is what it is. So tonight, to give myself a brain break, I am going to do a paper pumpkin kit. And, you know, I try not to do these real often because these are not available in all of our markets. They're only available in North America. But this was sitting on my table, and I figure I kind of need to work on it. because I have a craft fair coming up, and I would like to have some of these samples ready to go. So this comes with, so the paper pumpkin kits, those of you who are here watching are probably familiar with them because you've probably been here with me many times. But the paper pumpkin kits, it's a subscription. You can order a set amount of them, or you can order like I do month to month, where it comes every single month. I can always suspend it if I want, or I can add more kits if I want, if I think it's going to be something that's really, really cute. And the one time I suspended my subscription, I regretted it because the kit was so cute. So now I just get them all the time. And if it's a kit that I'm not particularly fond of, I just figure out something else to make with it. So the thing with paper pumpkin kits is that we do not know ahead of time what is going to be in them. All right. So like Juju, the kit that you got, was literally not one of my favorites when I saw it. But when it came, and then you start putting it together and figuring out different things you can make with it, it was really kind of fun to work with. So they come nicely wrapped for us in tissue paper. So it's kind of like opening a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. But these are set so that it's a surprise. Stampin' Up! Might give us some hints. Hey, Apple. It's going good. How about for you? You just missed our conversation on adulting. Unless you were here, maybe just listening in. But welcome. So Stampin' Up! Might give us hints what's going to be in it. They might show us a couple of the elements that are in a kit, but we don't know what it's going to look like. So it's a surprise. So, you know, you might not like those kinds of surprises, and I don't mind. Okay. The kits collection, which is a little different, you know ahead of time what's going to be in it, how many cards, how many treat boxes or whatever, if it's going to be a wreath or a bouquet or whatever, you know exactly what's going to be in it. All right. Paper pumpkins sometimes will have these decorative boxes. There'll be special boxes for the season. This happens to be the October Cozy Christmas because it's getting into the holidays, so it's going to be the Christmas design. If they're stamping with it and it's your first kit, you get a paper pumpkin block, which is it's going to look maybe like this, but it's going to be a thin block. Our normal blocks are thicker, so this is less than half as thick as this one, and it doesn't have the grooves. I like the blocks that have the grooves because it helps when I'm having some of my neuropathy issues. But that will only come in your first kit. And I found out that if you've been a past subscriber and quit and then come back, you don't necessarily get another block. So if you've ever been a subscriber once, you get that first block and that's it. Now, if you like those really thin blocks, you can order them. They're $2. All right. But then too, if it's a stamping kit, you get an exclusive stamp set that's just part of Paper Pumpkin, like this one is sentiments and then a couple of snowflake designs or like a star. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. But this is Merry Christmas to the world. So joy to the world, and then deck the halls. So that'll be pretty. Lori Live carving her pumpkin for Halloween. Actually, I had my chickens carve our pumpkin. I should post pictures of that on my Facebook page for you guys. Oh, and I have a little video. I could probably upload that too to my YouTube. I let my chickens carve our pumpkin until they chewed off like the whole face, and then it wasn't carved anymore, but it was pretty funny to watch. But if they're stamping with this, you'll get that block the first time. Otherwise, they expect you to save your block or use another block that you like. You'll get a stamping spot, and these you will get a different color every month for a year. All right, so in a 12-month period from January to December, you should not get any repeat colors. All right, so that will help build your repertoire of colors. Like I think last month's was the Lost Lagoon because that's still on my table here. And I just write on the what would be the bottom because when we store them, we want to store them down upside down so that all the ink stays in the pad on them. So I'm going to go get my pumpkin pie because I do like using a bigger ink pad when I'm working on these. And then I can save these to give out as samples too. And we'll just move that out of the way. And then let's open up our kit and see what's in here. Riley likes doing these with me too. I don't remember what side I just sliced open. Sometimes these will come UPS, sometimes they will come USPS, sometimes they come both. So they might start with UPS and then get handed off to USPS to finish the delivery. So sometimes mine are in the mailbox and sometimes they're on my front porch. So we're getting a mini roll of tear and tape. And I should grab my other tear and tape that's already open. Now I like to hang on to these for when I have classes because then I can have a little mini roll to go around. When I do my senior ladies, there's an assisted living or an independent living center that I go to and do a card class with them. And a couple of them really like the tear and tape. So I like to keep those for them. And one is usually enough to get them through several cards. All right. So then we have all of the adhesives that we'll need. So we get that mini tear and tape if that's what's needed. And then we'll get dimensionals if that's needed. You might be the regular size. These are regular size ones. Glue dots. And I will probably not use these. I'll use the ones off the roll just because I find it easier unless I'm traveling. And then I just take my kit. How much did the package in front of you cost? This paper pumpkin kit, on the month to month, it's $27, which includes the shipping. Tax is probably separate. But there are other options too. So you could buy a single month, you could buy a 3-month, a 6-month, and a 12-month subscription. But those you'll have to pay shipping above and beyond what the paper pumpkin kit is. And I can look those up even too probably and see what the costs of those are. And if you're a demonstrator, you get a discount. Okay, so the monthly kits are $27. If you do a 3-month subscription, that's $81. So that's I think they're just a straight 27 because it doesn't look like it's cheaper the more you buy. So a 3-month subscription is $81, a 6-month subscription is $162, and 12-month is $324. Yes, the prices would be different in Canada. Yep. And I don't have the Canadian prices, but those are US dollars. Thank you, Judah. Yuda. That's a very good point. All right, so you'll get all of the envelopes you need. So these are all the same. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So this will be 9 cards worth. And these are all printed. So these are printed on the outside and the flap. Sometimes they're printed on the inside. Sometimes they'll just have, some image on them. So we'll have one of those. We've got several card bases. So it's like a red, not really a polka dot, but kind of a polka dot. It's like a subtle polka dot. And then we've got some green that's got like some pine branches in there. And let's find the other cards because there's going to be 3 each of 3 designs. Apple, are you in Canada or the US? I don't remember. You've been here before, but I've forgotten. I apologize. And this is just like a basic beige, kind of a tweed kind of design. You will also get like a carrier sheet or I don't know. It's not really like a template, but that's so that you can have your stamps stored, I guess. Some people I've seen kind of close this up and make it an envelope so that their stamps can go right inside there. Some will put it in a stamp case. I basically put mine in just little plastic sleeves that I get online because that's what I put my instructions and my little extra bits on. You'll also get instructions, and these are color instructions. So the first one, this first page here, will show you each card design. Okay, so you're in Canada too, so your prices would be a little bit higher than the US, depending on what that conversion rate is. All right, so each of these will show you what elements you need to pull apart for that card. Okay, so we'll keep this handy. And then we've got all of these laser cut pieces. Now, these are for sentiments. Some people like to keep them in the laser cut sheet. And this one obviously is for Merry Christmas, so that will go there. I personally like to take mine out of the laser cut sheet because it's easier for me to line it up, because I will put it on a darker background like here. And then when I put my stamp over the top, I can see where I'm going. When I have it like this, that white background, because it's still attached when I do this, I have a more difficult time differentiating if I'm within the lines that I need to be. So for me, it works to punch them out. For other people, they leave them in. So you do you. All right, and then I am just kind of watching my instructions here to see what I'm going to have everywhere. So the red cards are designed to have the Merry Christmas here. That doesn't mean that's how I'm going to make them all, but that's how we're going to start out. All right, and then these rectangular pieces that have the outlining on them are going to this card. So that's, we'll see if these stay in order with the instructions. All right. And then we have this joy piece. Now you're not going to be able to see it on here, but I can tell you these have the velvet highlights on them. So I did some cards with the velvet paper. Where did I put it? Here we go. So this velvet paper, this is the all season velvet, so it's green, red, and white. So these coordinate, but it's really nice velvet. So it's not just like felt, it's actually kind of furry like a velvet would be. Now, I don't think I've tried to stamp on here. I don't remember if I did or not, but I did see from another demonstrator that it took a while to dry, and it's not going to show up really well on anything but the white. So that would be something you'd want to experiment with. All right. So anyway, these are velvet embellished pine sprigs, I guess, on here. And it looks like that's going to go there. Now, if you're a keeper of all things scraps and whatever, these ovals could turn into eyes or something. I'm sure mine will How is it for die cutting? We die cut, I'll pull one of my cards out and I will show you how intricately it die cut very nicely. I was really pleased. I have some cards close by. Give me just a second. So this is all velvet, okay? The white background is velvet and I ran it through an embossing folder. And this is part of the peaceful garden. Pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, peaceful garden. So the embossing folder was from the Peaceful Garden. And then I just cut the green with my scissors. And these pieces here, these I actually did in cardstock. The sprigs there, I did not try to do those on the velvet, but these are from the velvet. And let me get my, my take your pick tool. There's a little slit in here and it cut it out super clean. So I do not think I would have any problem cutting those pines out of the velvet as well, because it is paper backed. So it's not super thick or anything. But then all of these are all in the velvet. This is in the velvet. So those were all die cut. This was die cut with one of the dies. I did this particular piece just in cardstock, but the rest of this was all velvet. And these little holes all punched out real easy. I just went one single swipe through the embossing machine. All right, so that was all done with the velvet. I think this might have been the first card we did when I broke out the velvet. So thank you, I'm glad you like it. I'm really happy with this one. And because it's paper backed, the all the adhesive works really well on it too. Okay, so that was very fun to make. All right, so back at this. So if we pull these instructions back in, we've got a layer here that's going to go with the joy. We've got this linen-y layer that's going to go with the green. And then we've got this linen-y one that's more in a basic beige, where this is mostly white with a little basic beige, but this has got the corners trimmed out of it. So that'll go there. And these have velvet accents on them as well. So these have the stripes on here are velvet. And those are going here. And then those ornaments will go on the green one. So you can see how well these are laser cut too. Sometimes they're just falling off the sheet. And I look back at some of the paper pumpkin kits that I had when I first started. And this is all velvet. That is all velvet on there. So we're going to make a Christmas tree with this, it looks like. That's going to be very pretty. So some of these are falling out, as you can see. That's going to go there. And that's going to go there. These are all coming out. That makes it nice and easy. Now, a lot of times these kits can be made into alternatives really easy. Sometimes I will take the time to do that. And sometimes I just want to get them all made and sent off. So I do them as close to the instructions. A lot of times I don't really follow the instructions closely. I'll look at the picture and do it close. All right. Oh, and you get whatever embellishments they're putting on there too. All right, so that's going there. And I think getting everything prepped is just, it's the most tedious part, depending on how many parts or pieces there are. But then these usually go together pretty quickly. And that's going to this one. All right, and then this chipboard, because the stamps that come with the kit are photopolymer, if you do not have a Pearson mat, you will probably want to use the chipboard or something similar to give you a cushion for your photopolymer stamps. We talked about this quite a bit last night, and it does really help. So maybe I'll try to do it with the chipboard today, and we'll see if I have any struggle with that. So let's go ahead and put our Merry Christmas on a stamp, or on a block, I mean. And this is about the same size. So when I put my stamps down, if they have any possibility of moving their shape, you can do that on purpose and just put your block on with them curved, or just lay them down so that they can relax a little bit and then pick it up and everything should be nice and straight. All right. Sometimes I condition these, if you will, with Versamark. Sometimes I'll scrub them underwater, scrub like this. And sometimes I just kind of rub the manufacturing oils off. All right. They are great if you've got a couple of friends. And you all go home with a different card, you know, with the full set. So, and it makes it very economical too, if you're going to share the cost or if you just want to share it. That's a nice thing about our kits collections too. It's the same thing. All right. So let's get this out, and I'm going to start with this one, and we're going to do some Merry Christmas here. And we'll see how well I can stamp. Now this should be a dark enough background for me that I can see pretty well where my stamp is going to go. And I prefer to tap my ink onto my stamp. Yeah, you can rub your stamps on your jeans. I'm actually wearing like some sweatpants, so I don't want to get them all full of fibers. All right. So I usually stamp my ink or tap my ink to the stamp rather than squish my stamp into the ink, just because it's a little safer than getting a lot of extra ink all over. I think that is hopefully close enough. Let's see how this looks on the chipboard. Pretty good. And then let's pull in our piercing mat and see how that does. And I like the piercing mat too because it gives me a nice dark background. And I have some stampers that really are heavy-handed and they go squish, squish, squish. So I try to teach them when they first start stamping to just put the block down and go tap, tap, tap instead of squish, squish, squish. And then here we'll just lay that down. All right. So, personal preference, whatever you like. I like my Pearson matte. And this is another stamp that I clearly need to re-ink. So let me go get a re-inker. And I need to find my spoon. Here we go. And I usually give these just a little bit of shake. Not enough to really give them bubbles or anything, but just enough to kind of mix up all the stuff that might have settled at the bottom. Oh, you can see how quickly that's soaking in there. This poor little thing is really thirsty. Now I'm being very careful not to drag it hard on my foam pad because I don't want to tear it. But you can see how quick that's all soaking in. Except down over there. That's not going in quite as quick. There we go. So sometimes when it just kind of sits on the top of the pad, it might not be quite as thirsty, but that one's really sucking it up. But I will take a spoon and then just kind of push it around so it kind of evens out where the ink goes. I don't think I really needed to with this one just because it soaked it up so evenly.